Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. Premier Sarawak wants Sarawak to strengthen its dominance in the oil and gas industry. Brooke Holding secures 400 million ringgit Shell contract. And Brooke Dockyard Industrial Heritage Museum to be open by year end. The Premier Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, announced that the Sarawak government aspires for the state to become a key player in the oil and gas industry as the world shifts from fossil fuels to renewable and low-carbon sources. For this purpose, he stressed that Sarawak intends to not only continue its efforts towards green energy alongside traditional business partners like Petronas and Shell, but also to establish collaborations with international industry players. In this regard, Abang Johari revealed that Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petros is set to collaborate with Mubadala, a state-owned oil and gas company based in Abu Dhabi.
Abang Johari highlighted that the Sarawak government, through Petros, will continue to collaborate with Petronas and Shell towards sustainable and green energy development.
Whatever it is, we are facing challenges in our climate, and for that Sarawak will play its part and contribute to mitigate carbon emission, and that's where Shell, Petros, Petronas are working together as a team in our effort to mitigate carbon emission through part of project the CCUS strategy.
Petros has been designated as the exclusive gas aggregator responsible for procuring natural gas from all sources, ensuring its distribution and supply for domestic consumptions, both household and industrial purposes, at affordable rates, and thus attracting potential investors to the state. This appointment follows the passing of the Sarawak Distribution of Gas Amendment Bill 2023 in the Sarawak Legislative Assembly sitting held last November.
Just for the information of everybody, as you know, we have just passed our law in the last June, and we have appointed Petros to be the aggregator. Now it's in the process, and I would like to express our state appreciation to the federal government, where under the law we are excluded, and we are the distributor of gas in Sarawak. And I hope that with the collaboration between the oil gas players and the state government, we will be able to have a structured collaboration with the power under the state government.
He said this during a speech at the signing ceremony of the engineering, procurement and construction contract for the offshore fixed structure construction works for the F6 VLAB compression project owned by Sarawak Shell Berhad between Sarawak Shell Berhad and Brooke Holding Sdn Berhad in Kuching on Wednesday. It is projected to generate an impressive daily revenue of approximately 2.76 million ringgit, with a sales tax on oil and gas estimated at around 50 million ringgit annually to the state. At the same time, the Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, expressed appreciation for a significant achievement by Sarawak-owned company, Brooke Holding Sdn Berhad. The company has successfully signed a contract with Sarawak Shell Berhad for engineering, procurement, and construction works on the fixed offshore structure for the F6 compression project, referred to as F6 VLAB, or very low abandonment pressure.
Say that I would like to express my appreciation to Shell for offering this project to Brooke Holding. This is a testament of confidence in Brooke Holding, as well as the collaboration between Shell, Brooke Holdings, as well as Sarawak government. And I hope that with this project contract, it will enhance the technology as well as the way we implement the project given or offered to Brooke Holdings and Berhad.
Currently, Brooke Holdings is undertaking the engineering, procurement, and construction of fixed offshore structure works for F6 VLAB compression project valued at 421 million ringgit for Sarawak Shell Berhad's facility at the site. The F6 hub complex is positioned roughly 179 kilometers offshore to the northwest of Bintulu, in water with a depth of 85 meters. The primary objective of the project is to reduce reservoir abandonment pressure, thereby enhancing production and gas recovery from the F6 field through the implementation of external energy. The contract for the compression project was awarded to Brooke Holdings and Berhad by Sarawak Shell Berhad on July 5, 2023, with a contract value exceeding 400 million ringgit.
Works on transforming Brooke Dockyard into the Brooke Dockyard Heritage Museum have now reached 86% and are expected to be fully completed by the end of this year. Premier Sarawak Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg also announced an additional 5 million ringgit allocation for the project.
Previously, the Sarawak government had allocated 42 million ringgit to modify the building and turn it into the Brooke Dockyard Industrial Heritage Museum.
86%. So you have another 14% lagi. Setidaknya mau ada fitting dalam ID kapal. Nak minta duit lagi tambah 5 juta. Jadi 4 campur 2, 47. Dan kita akan tambah fasa kedua. Fasa kedua ialah sebelah KT.
He added the project is fully funded by the Sarawak government through the State Ministry of Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts. The project will not only see the construction of a new building, but also the preservation and restoration of the 100-year-old building erected in 1912.
Wish fulfilled for Spau residents after their request for a hemodialysis center to be set up in the area was answered. Deputy Premier Sarawak Dato' Amar Douglas Ugahambas said the 1 million ringgit center will be built by the Ministry of Health MOH in collaboration with the Betong Division Development Agency BDDA. Additionally, MOH will also provide allocations for the land purchase of the new Type 4 health clinic site.
Lawatan Timbalan Menteri Kesihatan Malaysia, Datuk Lukasman, hari ini ke Sepauh adalah satu program yang cukup bermakna bagi kita. Pada hari ini, beliau telah melihat tapak di mana kita canangkan untuk membina klinik Sepauh yang baru. Kedudukannya sekarang adalah dia akan menghantar fund untuk membeli tanah. Kemudian dia akan menimbang untuk memberi peruntukan untuk membina klinik itu. Kerana klinik yang ada sangat uzur, itu sebab saya mohon untuk mengadakan dapat klinik baru untuk Sepauh, klinik kelas 4.
Earlier, Ugah was accompanying the Federal Deputy Health Minister, Dato' Lukanisman Awang Sani's visit to the Spau Health Clinic on Wednesday. At the same time, the Health Ministry also approved an additional allocation of 350,000 ringgit for the upgrading of the current Spau Clinic.
In similar development, Federal Deputy Health Minister Dato' Lukanisman Awang Sani acknowledged the difficulties faced by dialysis centres in rural Sabah and Sarawak, which often relate to the availability and access to dialysis machines. Thus, he emphasized the need to improve the accessibility and provision of dialysis services for patients in rural areas.
Terdapat jurang perbezaan perkhidmatan dialisis antara bandar di Semenanjung dan juga di luar bandar Sabah dan Sarawak. Kalau kita nak bahasa mudahnya, kalau di Semenanjung, di Melaya, mesin cari pesakit. Tapi di Sarawak tu pesakit mencari mesin. Mesinnya pun belum tentu jumpa. So sebab ialah saya mengeluarkan kenyataan bahawa ada keperluan di kawasan pendalaman dan di luar bandar tu supaya akses kepada mesin dialisis tu diperlukan.
He spoke to reporters after visiting the Debak Health Clinic on Wednesday. Commenting on the clinic, he suggested that it should have a larger dialysis space to ensure the comfort of patients undergoing dialysis treatment at the facility. Currently, the Debak Health Clinic has only 6 dialysis machines, catering to a total of 22 patients. The Ministry of Health has approved an allocation of 300,000 ringgit for the upgrading of the Debak Health Clinic in Betong. Its Deputy Minister, Dato' Lukanisman Awang Sauni, also revealed that several facilities are included in the clinic, including an ultrasound machine and a digital X-ray machine aimed at providing better healthcare services for the patients in the area.
Kita telah meluluskan peruntukan 300,000 sebentar tadi untuk naik taraf klinik kesihatan Debak dan terdapat beberapa cadangan-cadangan daripada wakil rakyat dan juga saya telah menilai beberapa aset-aset keperluan seperti ultrasound dan juga klinik kesihatan Debak pun kita baru siap installation of mesin X-ray digital yang ini kita lihat dapat membantu proses X-ray untuk klinik kesihatan Debak.
At the same time, he disclosed that several other previously suggested proposals would also be examined and fine-tuned to upgrade the clinic.
Sarawak has so far achieved 78.8% internet coverage as of the fourth quarter of 2023. State Minister of Utility and Telecommunications, Dato' Sri Julaihi Narawi, said with this milestone, the Sarawak government is on track to achieve 100% internet coverage by 2030.
He added that should the target be met ahead of time, the people of Sarawak stand to reap the rewards, as the milestone achieved last year has proven a stellar performance.
Antara sasaran utama di bawah kluster transformasi digital ini adalah penyediaan capaian internet kepada 99% isi rumah di Sarawak serta penyediaan perkhidmatan asas talian bagi semua perkhidmatan kerajaan sepenuhnya. Setakat suku keempat 2023, Sarawak telah merekodkan 78.8 ataupun hampir 79% capaian internet. Based on the milestone we have reached so far, we are on a positive path towards meeting the 100% internet coverage by the year 2030.
He said this in his speech during a briefing on the implementation of new digital economic centers PADI in Kuching earlier today. At the same time, he also wished for more PADIs to be established in Sarawak in the future. This, he said, is because the state of Sarawak is vast, and each state constituency would require more than one PADI to serve all its constituents.
In a time of economic uncertainty, real estate proves to be secure investment, showing resilience even after a global financial crisis. Juwai IQI Group Chief Executive Officer CEO Kashif Ansari said, with that recent developments in Malaysia's real estate sector has further solidified investment in real estate as a safe haven, defying market fluctuations and positioning itself as a beacon of stability.
This real estate is the most safe investment, and I think this has been proven long global financial crisis.
Adding further, Kashif said Malaysia's real estate sector is experiencing unprecedented growth, reflecting on the broader economic upswing.
The people who really make money, that's something is supported. Whether the ringgit go up, ringgit go down, the most secure. So if you put your money in the bank, or it's definitely you lose it with recession, depreciation. Real estate is something definitely will grow. The economy is growing. other thing, you know, like tourism. Malaysia have attracted so many tourism. The first time ever in the history, Malaysia has defeat or, you know, like passed Thailand. So this all signed very good and very positive.
In addition to that, he said a buoyant future for the global real estate market has been forecasted, with several factors contributing to the nation's economic vigor. However, he added that as the world gears up for the American elections in 2024, there might be a potential short-term slowdown.
Being a global company, we have a global outlook. For Malaysia, let's start from Malaysia. Malaysia is quite positive because interest rate is coming down. Plus, the kind of businesses Malaysia is into, which is like making the chip semiconductor, and EV is also coming into it. So I think we found that this will definitely help the economy. There's a lot of infrastructure projects are going on in Malaysia that will definitely help economy. And when people have money, the economy is performing better, interest rate is going down, definitely it will help Malaysian real estate market. Globally, the same situation. There's American election is coming, definitely it will affect, so slow down on 2024. But for 25, 26, we are quite positive on the global real estate market.
In spite of that, Kashif said the company remains sanguine about the broader global real estate market for the years 2025 to 2026, underscoring a positive trajectory propelled by diminishing interest rates.
Coming up right after the break, Malaysia advocates full UN membership for Palestine. Plus, 2 Malaysians plead guilty to conspiring in 2002 Bali bombing. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Malaysia persistently championed the rights of all Palestinian citizens, advocating their full membership in the United Nations UN. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil underscored the significance of Palestine achieving full UN membership, considering it a pivotal move towards acknowledging their fundamental rights and working towards a resolution for the persistent regional conflict.
He said this in his Facebook page on Wednesday, together with images shows Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim signing and dispatching a specially designed postcard to United Nations UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. The postcard conveyed the aspirations of the Malaysian people for the UN to grant full membership to Palestine, urging an immediate cessation of violence and oppression against Palestinian civilians perpetrated by the Zionist regime. Anwar took to his Facebook page to call upon the nation to join the special postcard campaign for Palestinian independence, encouraging everyone to send postcards to UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres. This initiative represents the collective desire of the Malaysian people for the international community to acknowledge Palestine as a full-fledged member. The Prime Minister outlined that Malaysians can actively participate by acquiring the special postcards available starting tomorrow at all post offices or through the official website of Pos Malaysia Berhad.
2 Malaysian filmmakers responsible for a prohibited independent film that delves into the distinctions and similarities among various faiths, including Islam, found themselves charged in court under a relatively vague statute for allegedly causing offence to religious feelings, to which, if found guilty, director Khairi Anwar Jalaini, 31 years old, and producer Tan Meng Keng, 36 years old, could be sentenced a 1-year jail term.
Both accused have pleaded not guilty to the blasphemy charge in a crowded magistrates' court in Kuala Lumpur. The filmmakers appeared and were subsequently released on bail. Based on the court documents, the pair is accused of having intentionally sought to offend the religious sentiments of others by uttering words and displaying objects within their view. Their lawyer, Ann Surendran, said that the case would potentially thwart Malaysia's rising film industry. Both Kyrie and Meng Kang are not renowned filmmakers in the country, but they are part of a growing cohort of up-and-coming young filmmakers in the industry. The movie Mentega Terbang, a Malay wordplay translating to butterfly, revolves around a 15-year-old girl grappling with the imminent loss of her mother. As she confronts the concept of the afterlife, the protagonist engages in discussions with her parents, exploring various religious perspectives. However, the film has faced intense criticism from religious authorities in Malaysia, particularly for its perceived deviation from the Islamic creed, highlighting the sensitivity surrounding matters of race and religion in the country.
2 Malaysian terror suspects pleaded guilty on Tuesday to conspiring in the 2002 Bali bombing after being incarcerated at Guantanamo Bay detention camp in Cuba since 2006. The New York Times reported that a 46-year-old Mohammed Farik Amin and 47-year-old Mohammed Nazir Leb were charged in 2021, 18 years after they were caught in Thailand. The sentencing is set for next week.
Both defendants were held for years in the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency's secret overseas prison network. In 2006, they were subsequently relocated to Guantanamo Bay to face trial at the Special National Security Court that President George W. Bush set up after the September 11 attacks. They have been charged alongside Indonesian terror suspect Encep Nurjaman, also known as Hambali. However, last October, New York Times reported Mohammed Farik and Mohammed Nazir had reached agreements with the prosecutors at Guantanamo Bay to charges of being accessories to the terrorist attacks in Bali, and hence were separated from Hambali's case. Hambali now faces charges of murder, terrorism, and conspiracy in the 2002 and 2003 incidents, where the maximum punishment is life in prison. The report said that in pleading guilty, Mohammed Farik and Mohammed Nazir agreed to testify against Hambali, the former leader of the Jama'ah Islamiyah movement. The duo were initially charged in 2018 with 9 offenses linked to the 2002 bombings of Bali nightclubs that killed 202 people, and the 2003 bombing at the Jakarta Marriott Hotel, which claimed 11 lives.
Malaysia reiterates its endorsements of the One China policy while celebrating the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties with China in 2024. As the Malaysian Foreign Ministry, Wisma Putra, highlights that Malaysia remains steadfast in upholding the policy as the foundation for both countries' enduring and mutually beneficial partnership.
The ministry also stated that various programs and activities are in the works to commemorate the anniversary, which include but are not limited to high-level visits, the issuance of commemorative stamps, business forum talks, and cultural performances. In the past year, after celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, bilateral interactions between the two nations saw additional reinforcement, such as the Foreign Minister, Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, visiting China, and Chairman of the Standing Committee of the 14th National People's Congress of China, Zhao Leji, visiting Malaysia. On May 31, 1974, Malaysia and China formally established bilateral relations, marked by the signing of the joint communique between the then Prime Minister Tun Abdul Razak and Premier Chow En-lai.
Moving on to world news, Donald Trump went straight from his victory in Republican Iowa caucus to New York courtroom Tuesday for a start of a defamation trial brought by writer E. Jean Carroll after an earlier jury found he has sexually assaulted her in the 1990s. Trump is accused of rape and charged with defamation by E. Jean Carroll, who is seeking $10 million in damages.
80-year-old author alleged that Trump defamed her in 2019 when he served as president. This wasn't the first case the pair has been associated with, as Carol had won last year when another New York jury found Trump liable for sexually assaulting Carol in a department store dressing room in 1996 and subsequently defaming her in 2022 when he called her con. Carol was awarded $5 million in damages. Addressing supporters at a rally in New Hampshire before attending the court proceeding this morning, Trump said he planned to attend daily court proceedings in the phony case over the next several days while continuing campaigning.
And then I'm going to go back to New York tonight, and then I'm going to go to one of these phony cases tonight where we have tomorrow morning early, nice and early. You know what I do? Here's my schedule for the next 4 or 5 days. I come here, I meet with great groups in New Hampshire. I then get on a plane late at night when it's snowing and freezing out. Wonderful. And the pilots say, sir, it's going to be tough. And I get there early in the morning. I go to a Biden witch hunt. And then I come here in the afternoon and I stop and we make speeches and we get your votes and all that stuff.
At the rally, Trump declared that nobody had to do this before, criticizing the individuals as disgraceful to the country. He expressed a desire to just leave and confidently asserted that they would achieve victory on Tuesday, possibly surpassing the previous night's success in Iowa. Trump's victory Monday in the Iowa caucuses surprised no one, confirming his grip on the Republican Party and offering clues about the campaign ahead. Christian conservatives were initially skeptical of Trump, who is plagued by sexual assault accusations and allegations of a tryst with a porn star. But they warmed to the tycoon since 3 of his Supreme Court picks spearheaded the bench's anti-abortion moves.
It has been over 100 days since the bombing in Palestine escalated after October 7, resulting in 24,285 fatalities in the now colonized country. In the last 24 hours, Israel launched 12 airstrikes against Palestinian families in Gaza that killed 147 people while wounding at least 252, where most of them were women and children. Although Israel claims that it had given instruction to Palestinians on where to flee, a displaced Palestinian in Gaza said such actions were merely lies.
إسرائيل مجرمة، إسرائيل تعمل أفشال الجرائم في الشعب الفلسطيني وبحق شعب غزة. ليش هذا كله؟ ليش؟ دمرونا، ما ضلش لنا أماكن. إحنا نازحين من بيت حنون، لكن فيش أماكن عندنا آمنة. كل الأماكن مهددة وكل الأماكن خطرة. وين نروح؟ وين نروح؟
The occupation forces also targeted the vicinity of Nasser Medical Hospital and the vicinity of Al-Amal Hospital that is affiliated with the Palestinian Red Crescent Society. Another Palestinian woman, Tahrir Shoman, said a recent attack had killed her niece while they were all asleep.
نايمين صحينا على صوت الصواريخ. طلع كل الدنيا غبر مش شايفين ولا إشي قدامنا. قعدنا نفقد في بعضنا محدش شايف الثاني.
Today marks 102 days since the Hamas-Israel conflict erupted. Besides fatalities, the number of injured, which consists mostly of women and children, is a staggering 61,154, all awaiting incoming medical treatment from emergency services that were allowed to enter the war-torn country earlier today.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headline anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.